I have a story from last night. Last night, it was like after dark. I like to keep the lights low in my house, or sometimes even off. I don't know, I guess I'm becoming a cat. I like walking through the house in the dark. I've been like this for a while. I don't know which. I'm trying to think, how did I become like this? And then I just remembered. And it was so long ago that I forgot. But I became like this because I used to be scared of the dark. And like if I had to get up in the middle of the night and the lights were off, I'd be terrified. So I started training myself when I felt scared, when the lights were off, to force myself to go do things. I'm like, okay, I have to go touch the bottom stair and come back. Or I have to go open the kitchen cupboard and close it again and then come back. Like I would set these little challenges for myself. And looking back, that's a great way. Like that's literally how you build resilience. That's how you get over phobias, is exposure therapy, doing the little things that don't really have a risk. And I used to think about it logically. I was like, is there anything out there that's going to hurt me that is so terrifying and powerful that it needs to attack me only under cover of darkness? I was like, if there's a boogeyman out there, I mean, he could get me with the lights on or not. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, so last night I'm in the kitchen in the mostly dark, and I hear a noise in the cupboard. Oh my God. And I stop and I'm like, because the way the air travels through here, I think I'm just going to make this a video titled What Happened with My Cat Last Night. Let's just call it that. The Chronicles of My Cat. The video I made about fighting with my cat is the most popular video on this channel. So maybe she'll become her own star in her own right. So anyway, the way the sound travels through here, the way the air travels through here is really beautiful. It's, something that first drew me to this place. But there's lots of air and travel, and that can make noises travel. So I'm in the kitchen, I hear this frigging sound from the cupboard, and I'm like, dear God, what the hell is that? Now, if I had to say what it sounded like, to me it sounded like a mouse. And I've never seen any mice here in this whole place, in my experience of living in Mexico. So I'm like, I'm like, is it a mouse? Is it a small bird? Is it a bat? And the only other thing I could think, I go on my phone, I'm like, do cockroaches make weird noises? And I'm like, no, okay, I had no idea. Of course, I forgot about. Anyway, so it was my vitamin cupboard, and I'm like, okay, well, at least it's not the food cupboard, because all of that is sealed and kept in Tupperware, and everything's closed up pretty well. But in the vitamin cupboard, there's nothing in there, really. And if it is, it's going to be supercharged and strong from eating my vitamins, maybe. I don't know. But you know how lids on vitamins are, like stuff can't get in there. So I did not feel like dealing with whatever it was in the middle of the night. So here's what I did. I left the cupboard open. And by the way, I stood there for a few more minutes listening. I'm like, did it come from here? And I was like, yes, it's definitely in this cupboard. I opened the cupboard wide open. I left it open all night. And I left Maurice outside. Sometimes she'll sleep in my bedroom with me. Sometimes she sleeps on her own. So yeah, I left her outside my bedroom, and I closed the door. I said, good night, Maurice, my little hunter. I knew she would handle it for me. If there was something in there, she would figure it out. Sure enough, this morning, probably around 5 a.m., I can hear her going crazy. Meow, 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 meow. And she never does this, right? So I'm like, okay, something's up. She's my little huntress. She will alert me if something's going on. So I open the door warily, and she looks at me and she goes, meow. And right at her feet, She dropped it right in front of my door. I could see something, and it looked like white and spindly and clear. And I was like, oh, heavens, no. Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be, you know? It's just like, oh, dear God, what is it now, you know? So I go and I'm like, oh, and like I want to praise her because like she's like did what she was supposed to do and she alerted me and everything. But I was also like, Maurice, this is gross, you know? So I go and turn on the light. It was a lizard. He looked like he'd had a terrible ordeal before this point. And it gets grosser than that. He was missing his tail. So I guess he must have had a real face off with her. I think they can lose their tail if they're trying to get away or something. So this lizard's tail was in the other corner of the room. Oh, so disgusting. But I was so happy and so glad that my little hunter got the lizard for me. And I was very glad that it wasn't a mouse and it wasn't a roach. But these lizards are really gross, man. I mean, they're pretty cute, but like, I don't want to go. And right now it's sitting outside my room under a bucket because I didn't want her like eating it or doing any more weird things with it, dismembering it. I told you guys in one of my videos the last time I came, there was just like a head stuck to the floor, which was really disgusting. So this one's still intact except for the tail. I threw the tail out. Ah. Anyway, I was like, good job, Maurice. I gave her a snack and I let her come in the bedroom and she went to her little spot under the bed on her little fur mattress. So, yeah. That's what happened. That's one adventure with living in Mexico. You know, now knowing what I know and what I've seen, and also talking to my girlfriends, I have some girlfriends here that I met from Canada who also have lived in Mexico for years. They would not live here without cats. Like the cat is gonna alert you to any weird creatures. The cat will kill them, get them. Like they're so useful and so cute. And I was thinking today, yeah, I really want to get a dog next to protect me from humans. All right. That's it. Thanks for listening.
All right, it cut out again because I ran out of storage yet again. So basically what I said was that I feel like a lot of us were called, even energetically, to be here at Earth during this time, just to hold our presence, just to have our energy here to balance out, the energy for whatever weird thing is going on. Kind of like if you had metal and you needed a certain amount of magnet strength to hold it in. I think a lot of us are just here to exist, to be here, to help keep the energy, at a certain level for a certain thing to be happening. And I don't think I mentioned it, but I don't know how far I got before it cut off, but I think a lot of us who came here, don't be, discouraged that might not be you because of how your life looks or who you are. Don't be confused by the rules that Earth and capitalism and society and patriarchy have put on you to make you think that you should be, in order to be valuable or worthwhile in this world. I think a lot of us, we just need to have our energy here. That's all we came here for, really. Whether you accomplished, complete your master's thesis or like whatever, all of these things that humans do to gain dopamine. I mean, you can finish creating your next masterpiece to get your dopamine, or you can go out in the sunshine and lift some weights and pet a cat and get your dopamine. Do you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, that's all we're kind of trying to do, is to achieve goals to get dopamine. And I know this is not very hustle culture, go make a buck, become a boss babe on the internet of me, but as many of you know who have actually followed me for a long time, that's not really my thing. So that's just how it kind of has looked for a little while. But I think those of you who are keen could tell. And, I don't know what happened, but this comic came over. And that night I had this vision, the stuckness that I was in over trying to finish my work was somehow removed, and I had the new idea and all the pieces started clicking into place. So yeah, do I want my heart to give out during this time? No. Now I have my vision cleared more going ahead, and I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll see it, and you'll see it soon. But I have just been working and inspired, and I'm happy with it. I'm like my little ant, and I'm building my little ant castle, and maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I won't. Maybe a torrential rain will come and take it away, and I can start my little ant castle all over again somewhere else. Yeah, don't get caught up in the doing and expectations of life. You may just be needed here for your energy to be part of the magnet strength of Earth during this time. Yeah, I guess that's kind of all I wanted to say. The rest that I had that got cut off was pretty good. It's sometimes it takes me a while to wind up to speaking eloquently. So yeah, I don't know what to do about this storage situation. Any suggestions, please let me know.